Good morning, everybody. It's nice to say hello early in the morning. It's the 1st of September, what is he, 27, 8, 29, 30, 1st of December. I wish us all well, and I believe they had a very enjoyable trip from the Cooley senior citizens to have a meal in an hotel in Newcastle. A little boring the trip, but they enjoyed the trip. It went over well in the boat, but I have to say that there was a lot of dust in circulation in Greenore. Now that is not on, because I noticed I was coughing there the night. It's a very fine dust unloading the day, and the wind was blowing, covering the car park at the Greenore. A car owned by Mickey Hagan was covered with dust, and that's not right. And we've objected to that, and we'd have to go to see what they're going to do about it, because it's not good enough. I know they're building hoppers, but I was choked a while ago, and it was coming up. It's not a cold; it's the blasted dust. So it hits different spots, and that fine dust will stay in the air a long time. It's not. It's very dangerous, and I understood that was to be stopped. But they are building hoppers. That's so good. It should be stopped till the proper hopper or whatever you call them, the cylinders are in place to suck the thing out right. Because it's not fair people going on the ferry and getting a cough. And it's not fair for the people that would want a fish stand down there at the port. It's dangerous, and I just don't want to give you all the medical P's and Q's because it's scaring you. It's very dangerous. It's a dangerous dust. So it's a very fine white dust. It's described, and I'm not going to mention any names because they'll probably say you're trying to knock it. No, that they want to do it right. We've suffered too many years. The houses here, it take thousands to restore them, with all the discoloration that's on the stonework and roofs. Now the residents were supposed to do a clean up job on them this year, and I haven't heard anything starting, but it's terrible on the roofs. And I was coughing like hell, and I inquired. A friend here rang me and confirmed me a suspect of the dust, because I was getting the blasted coughing. And it really is choking dust, and you're putting up stuff. It's not green, it's not infected, it's to do with it's blocking your lungs, that stuff. So if you're out for a while, you maybe get a couple of mouthfuls that go into your lungs, and etc. And you have to clear them out. It's like if you put something into a petrol jar, a wee bit of water, she's butter. Well, it's sad to say. Now I'm going to say that should be stopped till such times as it can be rectified. Now they can't afford the tax their vehicles also. There's no registration numbers, and forklifts going up the road. So I'm not saying that they may be well insured. I'm not saying anything about that, but it's funny they're getting away with no tax. Is that right? So it's sad now. I just thought I thought I was going to take us for the struttering again, but I had been at it for a while, and I got a phone call then at 10 minutes ago. A neighbour of mine, he was on the tour, and he said it was all right, but he enjoyed the wee trip across in the ferry, but he said he wouldn't be going again, like it was next week. But it would be handy if it wasn't doing any harm to the ecology system, but it's driving over our lobster ground, and we have a big interest in this year, but we will not let it go next year on the lobster ground. And that's in our jurisdiction as fishermen, and it's not in the north, or it's not in the south of Ireland's jurisdiction, and never will be, help of God, not in my term, on my watch. Because I stick up for the nomadic fisher people, even though they mightn't stick up for us when we need them, but they're not bad, you know. They have to make a living. There's too many overheads on people, and it makes them really not just things they'll do to take shortcuts. So that, of course, is this week's gospel about the shortcuts. Like, if you want to follow Christ, you take up your cross and you follow him, and you don't be arguing things right when it's not. In other words, you be honest. And honesty is a great thing, but some people say they know they're right or wrong. There's very few honest people now. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that argument, but I do say that the dust in Greenore is of grave concern, and it couldn't be jeepers good in his heart to fill his sneezing. However, we'll not say nothing. I'll be getting on to the port about this tomorrow, because I'm not going to have it. And I do feel the tourist people in Collingwood should object, because it means that bad bread's coming to your place. So that will not do. So I think I'll give your head a wee bit of a rest, and I'll say good morning to you. I get on now with my prayers. The office is online, by the way. Go to Universalist. It's great now. You don't need to look out traditional prayer books. It's all online. So I'll leave you and love you and wish you all the best. And have a very good weekend. And don't try it, and I wouldn't do. The weather is relatively mild, so you can have a bit of a good swing across on the ferry. It's coming in the grand there. It's not too bad. Maybe eased off a bit the trade, but it's still a lot of cars. You can turn Sunday to be queuing. So good night and God bless you all. Michael Des, the Bishop in Greenore Port, County Lowy.